wonderful time for this message going into the next. We are less than 60 days away to 2025, right? And I was thinking just now, so many people are bouncing around with the grass is greener on the other side of the fence mentality. It's like, how long can you stick with somebody that's willing to teach you? I have stuck with one of the best, if not the best, since I was 18 years old, and now I'm 28. I watched the man evolve. He's not angry anymore. But can you stick with your trainer for that long? If you can, you might learn something, you know? He was talking about happiness. He found happiness here in Primerica, and I just had a thought on that. It's, why can happiness be found here? I'm reading a book right now. It's called The Courage to Be Disliked, and I highly recommend it to everybody. The Courage to Be Disliked. And the author says happiness equals contribution, and contribution equals happiness. So if you feel as though you're contributing to society, that's directly correlated to your happiness level, right? So what are we contributing to, folks? We're contributing purpose. If you walk up to 10 people on the street right now and you ask, hey, what's your purpose, man? Do you have a purpose? Can you describe it to me with clarity? Very few people can do that. But I feel like I can do that. I'm sure some of you in here feel like you have purpose, right? The second is direction. Okay, very few people are moving through life with direction. They're just basically going with the wind. Whichever way the wind blows, that's where they go. No direction. The third is solutions, right? Is there any shortage of problems in most people's lives? Whether it's your friends, your families, or your recruits? We bring solutions to people's lives. And the fourth thing is impact. We're impacting other people, right? You guys are impacting other people, where otherwise they would not ever have gotten without some of the things that Primerica brings to the table, right? And so going into the new year, how you start one year is how you start the next one, right? I think it's the best time to develop a recruiting mentality. But Shaq started talking about how he wasn't the best recruiter, he was the best what? Inviter. Another word for inviting is prospecting. Write this word down, prospecting, okay? Because everything starts and ends with prospecting, right? There's 7 fundamentals that they speak of in Primerica, where if you master these fundamentals, you'll see incredible results in your business. And the first one is prospecting. There's presenting, overcoming objections, recruiting clients. But it all starts with prospecting. We can't expect that we're going to get the results just flying into our business just randomly. We have to design it that way, prospecting. And so what is that? What it is it's a conversation with a purpose. What is your purpose in a conversation, right? I always remember Bill Arender in an audio I listened to once. He's a $1 million earner in our company. He says, one guy sees a girl walking, and he walks up to her and says, excuse me, ma'am, I see you have a child. I own a business. I think you would be a really good client for our business. I think there's a lot of good things we can do for you. He turns that girl into a client. Another guy sees a girl, walks up to that same girl, says, excuse me, ma'am, you seem like a very nice person. I'd like to be friends with you. Turns that girl into a friend. Third guy walks and says, excuse me, ma'am, or excuse me, baby, what's your name? What's your sign? Turns that girl into something else. But the fourth guy walks up and says, "Excuse me, man, you look incredibly sharp. I own a business and I'm actually looking to expand that business. I'm looking for new leadership and I'm looking for new owners. I feel like you could be a future regional vice president." So you got 4 different guys looking at somebody with different purposes, right? What's your purpose in conversations? That's what determines the outcome, right? If you're looking at every conversation you have with an individual, Primerica related as a client, that's what you're going to get. And good for you. The sequence of questions strung together, that's what prospecting is. It's a sequence, which means it's duplicatable, right? It's learnable. And it's not complex. We'll go over that sequence, and it's a means to an end. What end? Let's talk about some of them. So the means to an end is why we do it. Why do we recruit? Why is it so important? Number one, it's to have more appointments. I mean, guys, I'm trying to get this in my new agents' heads that if you have a shortage of people to go see and appointments to get on, if I go recruit Andre here, right? And Andre knows Vanessa. How'd you guys meet again? Gym. At the gym. Do I go to Andre's gym? No. But he met Vanessa in the gym, starts working out with Vanessa. Turns out Vanessa is looking for a new opportunity. And she comes in, sees the business, loves the business, joins. Now she has to get trained. Who's going to train the new agent? Assumptively, you guys who decide to master the products, the fundamentals, right? If you're a trainer training Andre, who has aunts, uncles, cousins, siblings, coworkers, friends, and if that equates to 5 people, that's 5 new appointments that you did not have. You understand? Prospecting on your own is difficult. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's difficult, right? Right, Sultan? We were just talking about this. But if I go and I recruit Andre, he's got 5 people that he knows personally, where he can just call them up and say, "Hey, listen, I need a what? A favor. I just started working at a new firm. I need some help with my training. Can you help me with a training appointment?" That person that he knows, not I know, but he knows, is going to take me to, they're going to agree, right? And then Andre understands why recruiting is so important. He goes and recruits his friend at the gym, who I do not know. Comes into the office, loves it, joins, and now she has 5 more people to go see. How many total appointments is that?
10.
That's 10 right there that I did not originally have, and I did not need to work very hard to get on. Yes or no? So I have more appointments to go see. The second is to serve more clients, right, Sheila? Oh my gosh. If we had 2 Sheilas in the office, well, then we'd have 1,000 insurance clients, right? Because you got 500. I remember from last week's training, she had 500 insurance clients since the date she joined, right? I mean, if I was a regional vice president and I had someone on my team direct to me with 500 agents, and I can double that by just going and recruiting somebody else, that seems more effective and efficient than assuming I'm going to be the guy to go get another 500 clients, right? The third is to make more money. But I want to slow down on this one, okay? Because, and I've been thinking about this a lot lately. It's not just making more money in a linear way. It's making more money in an exponential way. It's not just making more money inconsistently. It's making more money consistently, passively, and predictably, if that's a word, right? Because you can go out and in 1 month get a pretty large transaction and not have the same income month the next month. But my God, if you had $50,000 a month coming in, whether you work or not, and it's predictable, what does your life look like? Let's cut that in half to $20,000 a month. I heard an audio once, he said, you're one decision and 12 months away from earning $20,000 per month. Keywords, per month, right? It's consistent. But how do you do that? It can only happen from licensing a lot of people, which comes from recruiting a lot of people, which comes from first doing what? Prospecting. So it's not just making more money, it's making more money what? Consistently. And then finding new producers is another reason why we do it. That's another means to an end. I mean, if I understand that the more producers I have, the more transactions we will get, it makes sense to go look for more people. And then next is, or lastly, it's to find regional vice presidents and life business partners. You know, I introduced my guest to Samir earlier today, and he said something really small, but it's big. He said, most people get started part-time here, some people transition to full-time, but I have part-timers that have been around for 20 years. I mean, that's, the trajectory of that is a lifelong business partner, right? And they say business partners are like marriage. Okay, how to? How do you do it? It's very easy. You ask a lot of questions. You don't go out and be a vomit machine, right? Oh my gosh, I found the best business opportunity in the world. You can make $1 million if you join tomorrow. You don't do any of that. You ask a lot of questions, right? And I have an entire training on literally only questions that you ask. But by asking more questions and listening, instead of saying more things and talking, I promise you'll get more results. Questions like, what do you do for work, right? I mean, if you walked up to, DM'd, or phone called someone and those were the first words out of your mouth, that's like the best way to start every interaction ever. How long have you done that thing for? Do you like it? Would you consider something else? I promise when I talked about sequences earlier, that's the sequence I use every phone call I have ever made. Ali asked me the other day, and I'm so proud of this guy because we called a play earlier last Saturday and he just freaking killed it. Scheduled more appointments than he ever has in one day this week. Really proud of him. But he said, as I'm making my phone calls, he's like, dang, Josh, how many years have you been using that script? And I was like 10 years. What do you do? How long have you done it? Do you enjoy it? Would you consider doing anything else? If the money were right, if you had a better schedule, if you could be your own boss, would you consider that? A, B, C, D. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get out. Next. Done. Set the appointment. I'm telling you, it's that easy. And lastly, it takes a lot of mo. Right, Rod? It takes a lot of mo. I got a lot of mo in me. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a consistent schedule. It takes more than you think it takes. I've spoken about this before. You know, go read the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. Go read that book to understand what it takes. I love what he said. He is where he is because of the price, not the prize. He has the prize because he paid the price. You got to have a more consistent schedule. Like, for real. You cannot expect to do something on Monday, skip Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, get back on it on Friday, and be number one, right? We started last week off at the beginning of the week in the middle of the pack for recruiting. We ended the week tied for number one because of a consistent schedule. Find an example, copy their work ethic. You guys have offices you can plug into. I'm blessed I started my own office. And you know, if you are not plugged into an office, be the person you wish you had. Be that person. anything worth doing is overdoing, whatever activity you think you need, 10x that, right? If you make 20 phone calls and you think that's what it takes, you gotta make 40, okay? And then lastly, you gotta talk to absolutely everybody. Why? Because you never know if somebody ends up in class, right? This has happened in my favor and out of my favor. You never know if somebody ends up in class and you prospected them, or excuse me, someone else prospected them and you know them, but now they're recruited on someone else's team. You lose. It's happened to me, but I've also done it to other people, right? Talk to absolutely everybody, guys. The founder of NVIDIA said in a speech recently, he said, I wish, he was talking to like Harvard graduates, he said, you guys are all really smart, you deserve to win in life because you have a really high IQ, right? But the challenge is, the reason I am where I am today is because I have gone through a lot of adversity and I have a very high AQ. Not every person is going to join. Not every person is going to have a nice thing to say about Primerica. It's okay. He said, I wish nothing more than a healthy dosage of challenges in your life. Stop caring so much about what other people have to say about you. This opportunity is the greatest opportunity in American business. Take advantage of it. Prospect more this week. Hopefully that helps.